On this installment of the Basics, I'm delving back into the world of the Star Trek customizable card game, and I'm going to give you the basics on the space line and how it works while you're in-game. So I have a selection of cards out. I have the space line. I'm using my Klingon deck as an example of what you're going to be doing on the space line and how it works. So if you give me a quick second of your time, I'm going to show you right now. So we're going to pretend that we're a few turns into the game. I don't have another affiliation on the other side of the table because I don't want this to get too confusing. After all, the show is called The Basics, not The Advanced. This is your space line. I've got 6 missions spread out. I have dilemmas under 1 mission to show you how it works. As Klingon, I have my outpost that was put under the seed phase under Vault Miner. We're going to say we're a few turns in, and because of this, my ship is at the first mission that I want to attempt to gain points. 30 points for completing this mission. I have 3 personnel on board my ship with attributes that should help me complete the mission. Now, here's where it gets interesting because, and normally you'd have these cards on top of your ship, but I'm doing this for explanation purposes. I have 2 command level officers and 1 junior officer. All 3 personnel have the necessary attributes to complete this mission. So navigation plus diplomacy plus honor. Now, if you're playing as Klingons, there's not a lot of Klingon personnel that have diplomacy. And a lot of them are rare, so they're hard to come by. Because of this, I'm using Kimtar, which has an alternate universe icon, which means you can't just bring it out unless you have the alternate universe door. That allows me to bring this card into play to use on my ship to help me attempt the mission. Now, in the process of your turn, when you're ready, you're going to beam down these people from your ship to the planet to attempt the mission. As an example, I'm not going to grab all the dilemma cards that are under that card, but I'm bringing out this dilemma to show you. This is REM Fatigue Hallucinations, and the card reads as follows: no one aboard can dream. Entire crew dies in 3 of your full turns unless 3 medical present or ship returns to outpost. In this case, I don't have any medical in any of those 3 guys because I'm only a few turns into the game and I don't have enough personnel out yet to deal with every bloody dilemma. In this case, if you're presented with this, you would beam your away team back on your next turn and move your ship back to the outpost because there's more than enough range to get there. You have to be aware that the dilemmas underneath any spaceline location can be anything. So before you head off to attempt a mission, I know the allure to score fast points is grand and can help you along in the game very quickly, but you got to have enough people on your ship before you start going anywhere. Rule of thumb when I play, I prefer to have about 5 personnel on my ship before I start going anywhere. And you may think that might take a while, especially if you don't have red alert out. Well, if your opponent is about to start moving down the space line sooner, there are a lot of cards out there you can get out quickly that can negate him from going anywhere, so it's not a big deal. As you move down the space line, you'll be scoring points depending on the attributes and how many of those dilemmas you can knock off per turn, and you'll get to your 100 points. This is not to say it's that simple, because it's not. I've played entire games that have lasted an hour or more where I've only been able to do 1 or 2 missions because either the dilemmas were too messy for me to overcome, or I was under constant threat of battle from the other player, which is always a big threat on the space line. It's widely accepted in the confines of the Star Trek card game that no matter where you're trying to go on the space line, you're going to run into problems regardless. There is no such thing as an easy mission. You don't know what your opponent has in his deck in the ways of dilemmas. You don't know what he's going to pull at you in events or interrupts while you're moving down the space line, and you don't know what else is going to happen. Like I said, you could be under constant attack. I've played against people where they don't seem to care about the missions, they just want to wreck you. It goes either way in this game, but as I mentioned earlier, you have to have the right crew on your ship before you go anywhere, and don't just depend on one ship. If you can get a red alert or another card out that lets you play multiple cards per turn, get 2 ships out as fast as you can. Get some personnel on each ship. Because what if your opponent, while you're only playing 1 ship yourself, he puts auto-destruct on your ship and you can't stop it? Oops! That's a very costly mistake to make by only having 1 ship out on the space line. I know it's hard, and it does take a while in gameplay to get multiple ships out, but it's worth it in the long run. Anyways, that's all for today. Stay tuned, and I'll see you again next time.